Here's a quick look at the market through the eyes of eminiDayTrader for Tuesday, April the 7th, 2009. As usual, starting off here with the overnight market, we can see here that the market overnight could not exceed the high formed yesterday, which was not expected. We really did expect to see some follow through higher, but instead the market went sideways for several hours, and then in the early morning hours started to sell off and had a good move lower, which is where it ended up by opening and in essence closing today. So the break lower would normally be considered a very bearish development. However, in this case, I think that that sell-off that we had today is somewhat suspect. If the market goes down, so I am expecting a bit of a bounce here from around the close here, around 8:14 or so, 8:15. But it could certainly come down and test the low. If it goes down below 8:10, then all bets are off on the long side for sure. Then we're likely to go down and test around the 792. So, that's like an 18-point, potential 18-point drop if the market should spend any length of time below 810. If it cannot do that overnight or tomorrow, then that area in around the 810, 811 area will likely act as support and set the stage for a bit of a rally. Now, the other thing that we want to take into consideration is there is some news tomorrow, not only the crude, which happens every Wednesday, but also the wholesale inventories. Usually not a market mover, but the kind of choppy action that we had today also leads me to believe that the market is testing an area where many different time frames are interacting, and that's where we're getting this kind of volatility. And so with this kind of sell-off, it's difficult to say that this is the end of this sell-off. But I think what we can surmise is that something's going to happen here pretty darn soon. Either a nice rally back up to the 850 area and beyond, perhaps even as high as 870, or if it gets below 810, very, very possible to have a 20-point drop. So something's going to happen here pretty soon. My sense is it wants to rally, but I'm not totally convinced of that. So we've got to keep monitoring it. As far as the individual profiles, you can see that we've had this sell-off here for the past few days, although it's been a weak sell-off, another indication that it's likely not going to have a lot of legs to it. Here's our 1-minute chart with our software, and we had a nice deceleration bar here, but it really didn't match our requirements, so only the aggressive traders would have gotten in for this particular long trade, and the same occurred on this deceleration bar. You can see that we have our balance areas at the high and low, then we look for a deceleration bar. We had them here. They didn't quite make or meet our strict requirements, so we didn't get trades off of them, although certainly many of our traders who have been with us for a while would have taken those trades and done nicely with them. So instead, we actually didn't get into a long trade until this deceleration bar, and unfortunately we were stopped out on that. We had another short trade that we took shortly thereafter. It did move in our favor a few ticks, but we were stopped out on that one as well. So we got in on the long side in here, and it had a nice bounce for us of a couple of points, so that worked out well. Then the only other trade we had was when it started to rally in here. It hit our first objective and then turned around, so we ended up with a break even on that. So certainly not one of our better days, slightly a losing day today, but as I said, those are traders who've been with us for a while probably did very well because of those first two trades that I was mentioning off of the high and the low. But at any rate, that's fine. That's the way it goes. And I've made some comments in regards to the kind of volatility that we're having right now today, late in the day in particular. So I think we're setting up for something pretty strong move here as early as tomorrow. So something to take into consideration for your trading on the very near term. And as usual, We'd love to hear from you. We're at eminiDayTrader.com, or email us at info@eminiDayTrader.com, and appreciate any of your comments and happy to answer any of your questions. So that'll be a quick look at the markets for Tuesday, April the 7th, 2009.